I don't want nobody telling me that I can't put this out or I have to wait for this and no, we don't want to do this song, we want to use this song, you know? And so many people are just like, okay, we don't have to do the songs I want. As long as it's one of my songs, just give me the money, just give me the check. Okay, I'm with it, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like everything that record labels like promised me, like, okay, we could do this, we can make one phone call and have you on this cover, we can do this, we'll put you on this tour, like just like that, have you national radio play all over the world, like I feel like, okay, that's cool, but as hard as I'm working, I'm doing, like, all this gonna come. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come. Might not come as fast, but it's gonna come. And when it do come, I ain't gonna owe none of y'all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not finna be in debt with y'all. I'm not finna owe y'all. Y'all not finna keep me down.
Be independent. Also just know that it's not as complicated as they try to make it seem. It's really not. Labels try to make it seem like there's this machine, right? It's a machine. It's not that deep. Really, all you need as an up-and-coming artist is a director who can shoot videos for you and edit them and turn them around in a convenient time.
Simple. You can just get your brother. If you got someone close that can do your videos and edit them, that's perfect.
And you need to own the means of your production. You need the studio at the house. It's not that complicated. You go to a label, they're just going to give you all those same tools.
It really wasn't about numbers. I was smarter than that. I didn't go in for numbers. I knew whatever number they was giving me, I was going to have to pay back. I never went in there for numbers. I was actually trying to go in for the lowest number and the best deal. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was already selling tickets. I was already selling hard tickets. I'm a hard ticket act. I'm a festival act. I'm a touring act in real venues. So when it comes down to them offering me, you know, money at the place that I was already selling tickets and certain things, it wasn't about the money. It was just like, I just want the best deal. I want the most perks out the deal. I want the most everything. And when I signed my deal, I didn't sign for a lot of money. I just signed for good deal points. And that's why I was able to, faster than everybody else, I was able to do my 5 albums and get the fuck. I was able to get, you know what I'm saying? As long as my work ethic was there, I was able to do that and get out of there.
One singer told me this label recently dropped her. And it really hurt me. And I was just like, I listened to this girl's record, and she's super talented. And I listened to other people they have on their label, and I'm just like, yikes. It's really all a popularity contest. Labels do not care about talent anymore. It's about your popularity.
Perfect example of why it don't matter if you got skills anymore, bro. You just gotta look up to par, and you gotta suck up to them, and you good. You gonna be famous.
So the music industry has changed drastically because of that. So when I was growing up, I would put on the radio and hear talented people. When you guys put on the radio now, you hear popular people, right? And that's the difference. So,
and I'm sick of it.
You gotta hold on and treasure the ones that are still here, not because of popularity alone. And I would be silly to say that I'm not here because of, you know, popularity partially, right? Because my fans are such a powerful force. Like, you know, they'll get something trending. You know, I got Queen Radio now, and like, but at the same time, I never have ever relied on that just by itself. I never relied.
Feel like it's gatekeepers in hip hop?
Gatekeepers in the music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on what part of the industry you're trying to get access to, there's gatekeepers. So if you're trying to get signed to a major label, there's gatekeepers. If you're trying to get on certain media platforms to get interviewed, there's gatekeepers. If you're trying to get on the mainstream radio, you heard me, urban radio, there's gatekeepers. Yes. The only true gatekeeper to what's meant for you in this world is God and your level of integrity. People end up wanting things that ain't of God.
That's a perfect example, bro. What is your mission, bro, with your music? Who are you trying to resonate with? Because if you go off to a different path that doesn't align with your own beliefs, your own morals, your own dignity, whatever you stand for, bro, you just gonna try to please everyone else.
And now if you want something that ain't of God, you got to go through gatekeepers. So all these people, all the times that I have encountered these gatekeepers in the industry and I'm knowing I'm overqualified for something, but I got somebody telling me I'm not good enough or I'm not enough for this, I'm not paying enough for that, I had to learn through maturity that that wasn't of God. And that's what you got to check. Do you have godly ambition or do you have selfish ambition? And in this world, it's very easy to have selfish ambition, and that'll take you on a pathway to where you're going through all these gatekeepers who really ain't nobody in the big scheme of things. On the totem pole of people with integrity and people with morals, values, and principles, these gatekeepers ain't nobody. But in this perverted, sick, twisted industry, these gatekeepers do hold access to certain levels.
How do record deals work? Well, it's changed a lot over the years. Now they do what's called a 360 deal, which means that they get a cut of everything. And what they do first is they catch you and trap you in a faulty bank loan. They give you an advance, and then you have to recoup it at your royalty rate. So say you make 12 cents a record. Think how many records you have to sell to recoup that money at 12 cents a record. That means you only get credit for 12 cents on every record sale. Say you go platinum and they want to redo the deal. They give you another advance. You're in the hole again. It's crazy, but that's the record business. Corruption on corruption on corruption.
What's it like to get a record deal and then lose a record deal?
It sucked for me, like, just because in those days, like, if you had a record deal, like, that was it. Mm-hmm. And then if you didn't have a record deal, like, you were done. So to have one and then lose it is like, oh, there's no bouncing back from that. Like, I never knew anybody who bounced back from that. But in my mind, it was never over. I never counted myself out. I just never knew what the next situation was going to look like, or how long, or what that time frame was going to be like.
Labels, ironically, want to sign artists who don't need to be signed. Like, it's almost like we see you already doing well on your own. We see your popularity. Like, now let me jump on the bandwagon and sign you, which really don't make no sense. So to me, I was just like, I see the type of game they playing. Like, it's not really about talent. It's more about, like, what your streams look like, what your numbers look like, what your shows look like. I thought that if I was really, really, really good, somebody would want to do a fair deal with me because of my talent, but that's not really how it worked. So once...
Nah, bro, you gotta have consistent amount of viewers. And with sponsors, if you got a consistent amount of, what, maybe 100K views, 50K views per video, that's good to sponsors. But if you just got like a 1 million view video, they're just gonna look at it like, okay, all your other videos are very inconsistent. You're not even bringing in 15K views, 10K views. This ain't, this ain't up to par with our sponsorship, liking. So we're not gonna cut you no bread. But if you got a lot of consistent views on every video, they're gonna want to work with you. But one video just blowing up ain't gonna be enough.
I saw that classic story. People want to help you push your car when they see you already outside pushing it. It was that type of thing. So once I didn't need a label no more is when they reached out trying to do good deals.
A record label would give me $500,000. All right, and I'd go and make a record with that. I could spend whatever I wanted making the record, and whatever the rest of the money left over was mine. That $500,000 was mine. And then after that, my job, your job as a label, was to sell that record. My job was to hit the road and go tour.
Right. And
I go tour for a few years, and at first, I'm not even making money touring. You're giving me money to go out there and tour. It's called tour support. That used to be, and that gets added onto your bill.
You didn't get paid.
No, you would get like money for tour, but like it wouldn't cover like a bus and a band and all this. So the label would supplement that with what they called tour support, which would also become part of the debt you owed the label.
Right.
But as you built your live audience, your guarantees would go up. Sooner or later, you could stop taking that money, and then your record sales would pay that off, hopefully, if you were doing well enough. And now you got your own stream of revenue with live, T-shirts, all this other outside shit that it's yours.
Signing, so every song I make, if I sign to a traditional label and they own my masters, which means these residuals, I don't get paid on those residuals.
No, they do have a royalty system.
Okay.
But the royalty system is trash.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So the royalty system ranges in between 16 to 22% at the max of a royalty system. And what ends up happening is, let's say you got two producers and you want to pay both of those two producers 2% each. Yeah. That's 4%. It's going to come out of the artist's royalty. It's not going to come out of the overall pot. It's going to come out of the artist royalty. So the artist royalty if it was a 18% royalty, now I go to a 14% royalty. And then when all the money comes in and the artist is entitled to 14% of that money, they take however much money that you owe them and they only recoup it against the 14%. So it takes you
So if they
longer.
advance me 200,000, we did an album. They deducting that from what I'm about to give them back.
Yeah. So if you did, they advance you 250, and the album do $1 million in sales, you know, and you got a 20% royalty, right? So you get 200,000, right? So now that 200,000, they're gonna take that 200,000 that you earned, and they're gonna measure it against that money that you actually owe, and they're only gonna subtract it from that.
This whole music industry is like just fabricated, and the more that I've gotten deeper into it, the more it's like perception. They just want to make every artist seem like they're popping, so then you buy into the brand and then start listening to them. That's all it is. When a label signs an artist, say, who has like 4K followers, like nothing, like 400 even, they start putting them on blogs, like every single blog, 10, 15, every single week. So their followers just slowly grow, and soon, like, you just get subconsciously, like, you're like, oh, I know who this guy is, I've seen him. You may not click the first time, the second, all the way to the 10th time, but that 10th time, you're like, okay, maybe I'll check out his IG page and his music. That's exactly how it is. It's just guerrilla marketing.
I think it's kind of odd that all of a sudden all these artists are selling their masters, because everybody talks about you need to have your masters. You need to have your masters. You got to own your music so that you can really make a bag. Because when a lot of these artists sign 360 deals, they don't own their masters. That means that they ain't getting the royalties and shit like that. They're getting pennies on the dollar, bro. If an album sells for $15, they're getting like 50 cents or $1, something like that, like with these 360 deals. But the artists that actually do own their masters, they're now selling their catalogs for hundreds of millions of dollars. It makes you think, like, why would they do that? Do they not, you know what I'm saying, want their royalties in the future? I don't know.
See, these are things they tell you to get you confused. Hey, you should sign yourself to your own record label. First place, the word record label is used way too loosely. Yes, you can sign yourself to your own record label, but where is your record label gonna get the money to expose you correctly in order for you to become this big successful artist? See, these are things they say all over the internet world and all through the media. Sign yourself to your own record label, then you can own your own masters. What is your masters worth? $0 until they get exploited to the world. How are they going to get exploited to the world? By all different type of variations of promotion that costs money.
Well, you got it for free, man. Social media. Back then, there was no social media. It shouldn't cost. All you got to do is upload your videos, bro.
Yeah, sign yourself. What is 100% of nothing worth? Because that's what your masters are worth until you exploit them to the world. Nothing. You better get some of your own money first. You better get some knowledge of how to push a record or an album forward, or creating a brand. People always got that saying, hey man, I'm gonna sign myself to my own record label and own my own masters. You're gonna be in the same boat you in now.
Attention. That's the best form of getting an income. All right, you need a lot of attention, because attention is currency. That's gonna be able to bring in some revenue for your music. All right, if you want to sign to your own record label, you got to be posting every freaking day, man. Don't miss a day. Promote yourself for free. All you got to do is upload.
The top 3 mistakes that you see artists make.
After the first mistake they make is, now that they got money, they spend it like no more money coming. Bruh, spend that dollar like that's your last dollar. Because it kind of is, unless you get lucky and it works. Yeah. The second thing they do is, when they get with the label, they become lazy. Now they got a table of people here. They got a table of people here.
So now they're
like, you're going to handle my socials, you're going to handle my promo, and then they think I can just go be a star. No. He's handling 75 people's socials. He's handling 75 people's promo. You're just one on the menu for them. Yeah. Third thing is, they reach up instead of reaching over. I remember I was working with an artist. He was pretty big, and he was like, I want Future on this song. And I'm like, Future don't want you. He's a class ahead of you. Reach over.
5,000 people spend $200 with you over the course of a year. That could be $50 every 3 months. Whether it's a concert ticket, a piece of merchandise, whatever it is you selling. Spend $200 with you in a year, that's $1 million a year. Being successful in the music business is attainable if you manage your goals. Let me pay attention to my audience. You know, let me use an app like lay low, a community where I'm gathering text messages and things like that. If I could build a database of 5,000 people, now I'm paying attention to the people that listen to my music instead of spreading it out wide, right? Really singling in on the people, like gradually grassroots grabbing fans, you know. And if you super serve them, make it personal, talk to them direct, IG live, you know, invite them all, talk to them, let them get to know you personally. Those people will become your street team and your army to go tell other people.
That's a perfect example. Work with the people who are already, you know, messing with your content. You got to nurture them. You got to, you know, support them as well as how they support you. Because, you know, you got to reciprocate the same type of energy they're giving you. Because those are the same people that's going to help you in the long run. They're here for the long run. So you got to be there from day one. All right, because that's what they do for you. Before you go, don't forget to hit the like button. I appreciate y'all. If y'all do, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you can get updated every single time we drop a new video. We can keep going at it, man, every day for y'all. Let's get it.